Hi, I'm Kip K, your host for Make Magazine's Weekend Projects. I'll be the first to admit that I love TVs. I love all the amazing pictures and sounds that come out of these strange boxes. But TVs can also be annoying. Have you ever been to a restaurant and you're trying to have a quiet meal and there's all these TVs on that are blaring and no one is watching them? Don't you wish you could shut them all off at the press of a button? Well, now you can with the TV Be Gone. Let's build it.
To pick up your own Super TV Be Gone kit, go to the Maker Shed and search TV Be Gone. When you get your kit, you'll want to match up all of the components with your parts list and make sure you have everything you need to build it. You'll want to put the circuit board in a vise or clamp tool like Helping Hands, and the first step is to install the power button. Now this is a symmetric component, which means it can go in two different ways, and it doesn't matter, either way will work fine, so put it in the board and make your solder connections. Then we'll install the 1K resistor, which sets how bright the indicator LED is, which we'll be installing in a second. The little green LED is our indicator LED, and you'll notice it has a longer leg, which is positive, so that'll go in the positive hole in the location marked LED. Then we have a small ceramic capacitor that can go in either way, so solder that in place. Now it's time for the 3-pin oscillator, and what this does is it makes sure that the microcontroller is running at the correct speed. And we'll be using an 8-pin socket for our chip. This lets you remove the chip if you need to instead of having to desolder the chip from the board. We're going to strip both leads on our AA battery holder because they're just a little bit too long, so we'll cut those down to about 1 inch long and trim those, and then we'll tin them. Now if you're new to soldering, what tinning does is it prevents wires from untangling and also gives you a nice solder connection when you solder the wires in place. Time to install the 8-pin microcontroller, and be careful when you install that in the socket, and also make sure that the dot faces the notch in the socket. After putting in a couple of AA batteries and pressing the power button, we see our little green LED is flashing, which is what it's supposed to do. We have 4 47 ohm resistors that need to be soldered in their respective locations, and what these do is control the brightness of the infrared LEDs. The electrolytic capacitor is next, and again the same with the LEDs. The longer lead is positive, so make sure that goes in the positively marked hole in the board. Next there are 4 transistors which we'll install, and what these do is they control the power going to the infrared LEDs. And now it's time to install the infrared LEDs. There are 4, 2 narrow beam and 2 wide beam infrared LEDs. After confirming the positive lead going in the correct hole, bend the LED so that it's horizontal with the board. And it's time to test it out. Well, we can't see infrared light, but digital cameras and camcorders can. So as you can see here, the 4 LEDs are flashing. Our Super TV Be Gone is ready to go to work.
Okay, I'm sitting outside of my gym where there's a rack of TVs that people stare into as they are on the treadmills, and we're going to change that all around with the TV Be Gone. So I'm going to sneak this camera in. Oh, by the way, this is, as you can tell, this is standard def because the my HD camera was a little too large to sneak into the gym. So this little Sony standard def cam is going to do the trick. So let's go turn some TVs off. Okay, here we go. There's a lot of uses for this. In fact, I'm going to walk over to my favorite electronics store now where they have plenty of TVs that we can turn off. Now that was a lot of fun. The TV Be Gone is truly an ingenious and devious device invented by Mitch Altman. Until some lawmaker in Washington tries to pass a law saying it's illegal to shut off someone else's TV, we're going to have a lot of fun with this little guy. But please use it responsibly. I'm not going to be responsible if you get a broken nose for shutting off a rack of TVs in a sports bar during that long hit ball in the 10th inning or that final basket in the NBA championship. So use it responsibly, and also keep in mind this isn't going to shut off any life-saving devices like monitors in a hospital that don't use infrared remotes. So be smart, have fun with the TV Be Gone. I'm Kip K. We'll see you next week with another weekend project.